Every woman fears hearing these words from a man, not because they're rude, not because they're cruel, but because they carry something far more powerful, the truth. These are the words that stop her heart for a second, the words that show her she no longer has control. They're not shouted, they're not said in anger, they're said calmly, by a man who finally understands his worth. You see, women are not afraid of rejection. They're afraid of realization that the man they once had wrapped around their finger is no longer there, that he's no longer waiting, no longer chasing, no longer trying to prove he's good enough. The moment a man says these words, everything changes. Her silence gets louder. Her pride starts to tremble. Because deep down, every woman fears losing the man who finally saw through her act. And the man who walks away without hate, without begging, becomes unforgettable. Today, I'm going to tell you what those words mean, why they shake women to their core, and how understanding this truth can change the way you see yourself forever. But before we go there, let's talk about why this fear exists in the first place. Before we dive in, listen carefully. What you're about to hear might change how you see every woman in your life. Because once you understand this, you'll stop chasing approval and start seeing the truth behind her words. So stay till the very end. Every second in this video connects to something she'll never admit out loud. And if you're serious about learning real female psychology, about red flags, attraction, and dating truths that most men never hear, then hit subscribe right now. We post every day to help you think clearer, love smarter, and never get played again. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever heard a woman say something that hit you deep and you couldn't forget it? I read every comment, and your story might help another man tonight. You need to understand something deep about human nature. Attraction isn't built on words, it's built on emotion. And for women, emotion comes from certainty. When a woman feels you're emotionally available, always there, always giving, she feels safe, but not challenged. When she knows she can have you anytime, her heart relaxes and her curiosity fades. But when a man changes, when he pulls back, when he grows, when he no longer needs her validation, something shifts inside her. Suddenly, she feels uncertainty. And that's the emotion women can't control. You see, women live in a world where attention is everywhere, likes, messages, compliments. They're used to being wanted. But what they're not used to is being calmly unavailable. That's what these words represent. They're not about ego. They're about energy. When you speak from peace, not pain, that's when you truly have power. Most men chase love by trying harder. They text more, explain more, prove more. But the truth is, the more you prove, the less you're believed. Because love doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to presence. When you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, she feels it. She may not say it out loud, but inside, she starts asking, why isn't he fighting anymore? What changed? Did I lose him? That's when the balance flips. Because now, she's the one who starts remembering your silence. She replays your calm voice in her head. She realizes you were never weak, you were patient. And patience is what scares women the most. Because patience means control. It means you're not ruled by desire anymore. You're guided by self-respect. So when a man finally says those few powerful words, when he looks at her and says, I understand now. I don't need this anymore. That's when she feels something she's never felt before, the loss of emotional power. And that's why, deep down, every woman fears hearing those words. 1. Her confidence shakes. At first, she pretends nothing happened. She smiles. She says she's fine. But inside, her confidence cracks. She's used to being the one in control, the one who decides when things start and when they end. But when he said those words with calm certainty, she felt the ground move. Because for the first time, she can't predict you. Uncertainty makes her heart race. She replays your tone again and again, trying to read between the lines. That quiet confidence hits harder than any argument ever could. 2. Her memory rewinds. When a man walks away in peace, a woman's mind goes backward. She remembers your patience, your small efforts, the way you cared. Moments she ignored now turn into flashes of guilt. She tells herself he wasn't perfect, but he was real. Women are emotional historians. They hold on to what felt safe. And when that safety disappears, the nostalgia becomes intense. Your silence makes her remember the man who once listened without judgment. That's when missing you stops being a choice, it becomes a reaction. 3. Her ego fights back. After the guilt comes defense. She tells her friends you changed. She blames your attitude. But deep down, she's not angry at you, she's angry at herself. Her ego can't accept that the man who once chased her now walks away with peace. So she'll test you. She might post stories, talk to someone new, or act cold. It's not strength, it's confusion. She wants to know if you still care. But every time you don't react, her ego loses one more battle. 4. Her heart starts comparing. Time passes. Other men try to fill the space you left. But something feels off. Because no matter what they do, they don't carry your energy, that calm mix of strength and kindness. She realizes most men chase validation. Few stand in silence. That silence becomes your fingerprint. It stays with her. Even if she moves on, she'll compare every new voice to the one that said, "I don't need this anymore." That's when she understands those words weren't rejection, they were closure. And closure is rare. It makes her respect you even when she's gone. 5. Her desire flips. Attraction isn't born from effort, it's born from mystery. When you were available, she could predict you. Now she can't. That's when curiosity turns into desire. She wonders what you're doing, who you're becoming, why you're not looking back. The moment she feels that pull, the roles reverse. Because the same silence she feared now becomes the silence she craves. She starts imagining you happier without her, and that image burns deeper than any breakup ever could. 6. Her respect returns. Finally, when the noise fades, something powerful happens: respect. A woman may forget a man who begged, but she never forgets a man who stayed graceful when he could have broken down. Your calmness rewrote her idea of strength. She realizes power isn't in shouting louder, it's in walking away quietly. That's the moment her fear transforms into admiration. And admiration is what keeps your presence alive long after words end. So when you said, "I understand now," "I don't need this anymore," you didn't end the story, you rewrote it. Because you showed her the rarest thing a man can show: emotional control. Let's be honest. You didn't start the story as the strong one. You were the man who cared too much. You were the one who stayed up at night, overthinking every message, every silence, every small change in her tone. You were the man who gave everything: time, energy, attention, hoping she'd notice the depth behind your words. You texted first. You waited for replies that took hours. You convinced yourself she was just busy. You told yourself she just needed time. You made excuses for her silence because your heart wanted to believe she cared. But deep down, you felt it, that slow distance, that quiet shift. The more you tried to hold on, the more she pulled away. And no matter how much effort you gave, it never seemed enough. Still, you stayed. Because you thought being patient made you a good man. You thought loyalty would make her see your worth. But what she saw wasn't strength, it was safety. She knew you'd stay no matter what. She knew you'd always be there waiting. So your value in her eyes slowly faded, not because you weren't enough, but because you were too available. When you finally stopped chasing, when your tone changed, when your energy shifted from needing her to respecting yourself, something powerful happened. She noticed. Because women always notice energy before words. That silence confused her. That peace made her curious. Because for the first time, you weren't begging for attention, you were guarding your peace. And peace, my friend, is magnetic. You realize that love isn't about giving until you break. It's about knowing when to stop giving to those who only take. You were never too emotional. You were just giving your emotion to someone who didn't value it. Most men don't get this until they've already lost themselves. They think being the nice guy means endless forgiveness. But being kind isn't the same as being weak. You can love deeply and still walk away with grace. You can care and still protect your boundaries. That's the real strength. And once you see that, you can never go back. Now, let's talk about power, not the kind that comes from ego, but the kind that comes from peace. The real power move isn't blocking her. It's not posting quotes or pretending you've moved on. It's silence. Not the silence that hides pain, the silence that holds control. When you stop reacting, she starts thinking. She starts remembering every time she ignored your effort, every time she dismissed your feelings. And now, with no messages to reply to, no argument to win, she faces something rare: accountability. That's why silence hits harder than words, because it leaves space for reflection, and reflection brings regret. She may act like she's fine, but late at night, when the world is quiet, her mind isn't. She replays your calm tone. She wonders if you still care. She wonders if you've found someone who treats you better. And that thought that she's no longer part of your story, that's what she truly fears. Power doesn't come from making her jealous. It comes from staying calm when she expects chaos. It comes from not chasing what walked away. It comes from knowing your value without needing her to confirm it. That's when everything changes. Because when you say, "I understand now. I don't need this anymore," you're not ending love, you're reclaiming self-respect. You're reminding her that peace will always be louder than attention. And that's the moment the power flips, when the man who once begged for her love becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Now here's the truth most men miss. When you both have feelings, the real power lies in how you handle it. Not in chasing, not in trying to prove you're worthy, but in staying grounded, calm, and confident in your own lane. When a woman realizes that you care, but you're not desperate, something deep inside her shifts. She starts to respect you more. She sees you as a man who values himself, and that changes everything. Because here's what most men don't realize: a woman doesn't fall for a man who needs her. She falls for a man who chooses her, even though he doesn't need her. If you feel there's a mutual connection, maybe she laughs more around you, her energy lifts when you enter, she remembers small details, or she looks for your reaction when she speaks. The key is not to rush it. Don't confess everything at once. Let the tension breathe. That emotional tension, that almost but not yet feeling, is what builds attraction. It's what makes her think about you when you're not around. So instead of overanalyzing her every move, take a step back. Let her come to you. Show through your calm presence that you're not afraid of silence, not afraid of waiting. That's how you flip the power, by not chasing, but by being chosen. She'll sense it. Women are deeply intuitive. When she feels that your energy is focused, not needy, she'll want to step closer. And if she truly has feelings too, she will. Maybe she'll initiate more, send that text, or find excuses to see you again. That's when you'll know it's not just in your head. But let's talk about something even deeper. When two people truly have feelings for each other, it's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet in the glances, the unspoken comfort, the shared silence. You don't have to force it. Real connection doesn't need performance. The most powerful move you can make? Be the calm center in the storm. When everyone else rushes, you stay steady. When she tests your attention, you stay patient. When you feel the urge to prove, you choose to trust instead. That's emotional power. That's what makes a man unforgettable. Because here's what happens next. Once she sees that your feelings don't control you, but you control them, she'll admire that strength. And admiration is the seed of attraction that never dies. So remember, don't chase her. Don't try to decode every message. Just be there, confident, centered, focused on your growth. If she's the right one, your silence will speak louder than your words ever could. And if she isn't, your peace will attract someone even better. That's the secret psychology of mutual feelings, two people mirroring each other's energy until the timing aligns. You don't have to rush love. You just have to deserve it. Now we've covered everything. You know the signs, the energy, and the mindset. So now it's your turn. Pay attention and move with calm confidence. If you didn't understand something, watch this video again. Every line is designed to make you think differently, to make you stronger. And if you want more real psychology that actually helps you win with self-respect, hit subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. Tell us which part hit you the most. So now, go with this video that's showing on screen. It will open your eyes even more.